Hello and welcome to High or Lows, a 5th ed Dungeons & Dragons adventure set in the world of Taraz. I'm Philip Martin, your Dungeon Master, and with me is Daniel Fletcher.
Ahoy!
Next up we got Laurie Crawford.
G'day, guys.
Then we have Lizzie McPherson.
Hey, lovelies.
And back from a couple of episodes away is Mimbo Wang.
Hopefully Chuck is still alive.
Unfortunately, Ash Maria had to step away for this episode, but he should be back for the next one. Previously on High or Lows, the episode began as the group were leaving Homestead's major guardhouse after their audience with Commander Marjorie. They made their way to the tavern to unwind and were given food and drinks, which they all enjoyed. There was a band setting up, as well as a couple of town guards they'd met earlier when they'd first made it to Homestead. The two guards provided pleasant conversation, as well as some additional info of the town, for which the group was quite thankful. Eventually, 3 thuggish men entered the tavern, and they were obviously keeping an eye on our crew. Thistle and Tweak went over to attempt to question the men, but were unable to get any meaningful information out of them. The group had some extra strong drinks, which Tweak was unable to keep down, and eventually the band started to play, which prompted the children to start getting rowdy because there were children at the tavern, because it's an orphanage as well. This encouraged Tweak to start stave dodging as Leola, and at which point Leola, who had met Chuck earlier, came into the tavern to warn the crew that Chuck may be in danger. The group thanked her for the info and adjourned to their rooms to plan, but were under surveillance of the 3 thugs from before. After other time, they came up with a plan for Barakus to stay and maintain a ruse, while the other 3 snuck out the back as the 3 teens were leaving after the show, or as the teens were leaving after the show. The group was successfully able to leave out the back door thanks to some particularly bad perception checks on the part of the thugs, and this is where we'll begin, with the group a stone's throw from the river, which would take them to the eastern part of Homestead, where Chuck is likely to be kept. So, we have Mimbo back now, so I'm going to flash back Chuck, to at the end of the zombie fight, you were trying to regroup with the crew when a large rabble sort of showed up from the east before, as you were on the ground now, before you could link back up with the group, you were descended upon and had someone stuffed a sock in your mouth, a hood over your head, and your hands were tied by 3 people. And you were taken away. Is there anything you attempt to do as you're being taken away in this manner?
Can I do anything? Like, what is the, like, is my hand tied at this point? Or is it like just...
Your hands are basically being held by like a guy. One person has a hand each, and then one person has your body as well. And you've also like something been stuffed in your mouth so you can't talk. A hood has been putting over your head so you can't see, and your hands are being held. Because they saw you doing magic, and they're trying to stop you from doing that.
But there's no save, right? Like, this has already happened.
Yes, but there are potentially some sort of things you could try to do as you're being taken away. Not much. I will admit this, not much.
Yeah, no, Chuck does nothing.
Cool, you're just taken away.
He preserves his strength, and he also tries to observe or, like, you know, remember all the different, like, sounds or smells and things like that.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
Or you have to roll.
Yeah, I'll do it in roll 20 for you. 6. Is it a straight roll for you?
+2.
+2. So it's 8. You're not really sure where they're taking you. You can tell that you're being led away from the crowd. You can tell that you're walked for a while. You're sort of taken a few different directions. Eventually, you are led to a room and you hear a door being open and you go into a room. I will say that even with that bad perception check, you're led into a room which is at first quite large. You can even just hear from the echo that it's a large room. And you're eventually led into a back room and tied to a chair.
Chuck stays absolutely silent.
Yep. And after a while, you're just sort of left there to stay. You hear the door being left and some people leaving. I'll do another perception check. You're not sure if they all left the room, but they might have. but you have been left. Your hands are somewhat free. Your fingers haven't been tied. Eventually, someone comes and takes off the hood. Actually, they don't take off the hood completely. They just take the hood enough, and then they take the thing out of your mouth, and you hear a voice say, "So, are you some kind of troublemaker or what?"
Chuck stays silent.
You sure you don't want to talk? Things could go a lot easier for everyone if you just explained what happened out there today.
Shouldn't you explain what you're doing first?
We're trying to figure out what happened. We want to figure it out quick so that we can stop it from happening again.
So this is the way that you treat people.
We're doing what needs to be done to protect our people. 2 people died today.
Why should I help you given what you've done?
We want to know what you've done. From what we've heard, it all started with you. What happened today? We just want to know what happened.
If you want to have a civilized conversation, then we should do this civilized.
We can be civilized, but we don't trust you. We've seen you can do magic, and we don't know exactly what you can do. Magic is very dangerous, though. We had to make sure no one else got hurt.
My mouth is available now. If I wanted to cast magic, I could.
We know that, and we're willing to take that risk. You're also bound here. I'm sure there is some magic you can cast, but I'm sure not all of it's available to you. What happened? Something set those zombies off. Like they're just our cows, basically. They just help us farm. Harvesters.
If you wish for me to cooperate, then I expect to be treated as a friend, not as a prisoner.
How can we trust you to not roast us with your fire?
Have I done that to any one of you?
No, and we haven't hurt you either. But we're pretty sure, thanks to your actions, 2 people are dead today.
I haven't attacked any one of you, but you've thrown a sack over my head, bound me, and put me here as a prisoner. So, who is the one who first made an enemy of who?
From where we're standing, you came into our homes, you did something, all of a sudden all our livestock comes riled up and 2 people are dead. We're just trying to figure out what happened and for no one else to get hurt.
And I'm perfectly willing to help you, but if we're going to be friends, then I would like to sit down as friends. If we're going to be enemies, I don't see why.
Give me a persuasion roll. Well, you can't, after all. 6, what's your plus?
I don't have any, so it's just a straight roll +3.
Cool, so 9. I say, look, you don't want to cooperate now, that's fine. We'll go talk to someone and see if you want. They'll allow this, but I don't think we can risk it for now. So just have a think about what you want to tell us, and we'll go from there. So with that, this person seems to get up and leave. You hear a door open and close, and you're left. They do not put the thing back in your mouth. You are still able to speak. Okay? Well, with that, we'll jump back over to Tweak, Thistle, and Callum, who are by the river on the west side of town, but on the eastern side of it. They just snuck past 2 thugs and are trying to figure out what to do next. What would you like to do next?
Well, from where we are, whereabouts is the Belmont house? Like, is it on obviously the other side of the river, but is it like upstream?
They're on the middle in the north. You have we'll say that it was pointed out to you at some point during like you asked about it, and it's behind this rocky platform where there is a statue on top.
Okay, so we could, in theory, go up the river and then climb out and be kind of close to their house.
Yep. So there's two bridges, the one in the center and the one in the south. The one in the center is go pretty close to a staircase going up onto that rocky platform, and there's the statue, and just beyond that platform is the house. So you could use that platform to sort of, you could go around or over that platform to try to get to their house.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty happy just to go up the river. Tweak, is that okay with you, or would you rather go through the fields?
Through the fields?
Yeah, it might be a bit easier because you aren't quite as tall. Okay, so I think it'll be easier to go through, like over the river, through the river, not over a bridge, because they'll be probably guarded.
If we have to go to the river, then the river we shall go. Just remember the last time we went through a river.
That's true. That was a bit more torrential, but yes, I do.
Okay, so information on the river. It's the waterfall is to the south, and it basically flows northward.
Oh, okay. So it flows, yeah, the way we want to go. And how far are the fields from the river? Is it pretty much right next to it?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, unless anyone has any other ideas, I think we're just going to try and ford the river and get into the fields. Well, actually, how tall are the fields? Are they tall or not really? It's really just short stuff.
There are some which are a bit taller, but like no, they're not particularly tall. They're not like wheat fields, cornfields. But the rhubarb fields get like, probably 3 or 4 feet high.
Okay, so tall enough if we need to, we can kind of hide. Actually, it's only really me who needs to.
Thistle.
Oh,
This is spider, so yeah.
I'm in
Yeah.
spider.
should be shorter. Okay, well, let's give that a shot.
Well, I'll
Okay.
go scamper ahead and I'll use the code that we used.
You lose the what? Sorry.
1 leg for stop, 2 for go. Yada yada yada.
3 for yes. Okay. High or lows to see how harsh the river is running right now.
Lows.
It's running a little bit fast tonight. So as to not have disadvantage on your stealth checks, give me athletics checks to ford the river.
Did you say athletics check?
Yes.
10 here.
10.
12.
Okay, I'm going to say everyone but Thistle has disadvantage on this stealth check to get across the river then. You're able to do it. The river's not flowing so fast, but it's just making being quiet harder.
16. For the stealth, that is.
The stealth or for the it's athletics again.
So your athletics is fine. You're getting across the river. You just have disadvantage on the stealth check because it's hard to be quiet because it is.
Okay.
I'm guessing the steel defender really doesn't have to do a stealth check because it just goes underwater.
Yeah, it's fine.
8 for me.
8. Okay, cool.
I'm floundering in the water, like doggy paddle style.
Would I be able to grab him? So he doesn't make as much noise or something?
You didn't do very well in your athletics check. Yeah, I think you're still like the water is just sort of caught you off guard, and you're having a little bit of trouble trying to just do it quietly. You're a fine swimmer. You've never tried to swim that quietly in a river going this fast. So no, I'm gonna have the 8 stand, but Thistle, you can do stealth check with no disadvantage.
Okay. 20.
20. I will say with the 20, so we're going to take the average of that. So that's 16, 8, and a 20. So that average is about 15. Just under 15, 14 and something. Cool. Are you doing this between the bridges or north of the bridge? You are, like, where you started was between the two bridges.
What's the distance between the two?
About 120 feet. And there's a curve.
I'd say we were doing it between then.
Okay. As you get up out of the river, you hear a voice come up. Then seems to notice it's like, oh, what's that? But before he can do anything, you hear another voice saying, "Oh, that's just me, Joffrey. I'm just out for a stroll. I was just dipping my toes in the water. I hope that's okay." Oh, he said, "Is that you, Leola? Yeah, don't worry. That's fine. That's fine. Probably best you go home, though. Things are a bit tense tonight." And she goes, "Oh, yeah, of course, of course." And you are able to get out of the water and head towards a field.
I take it that was the same chick from earlier.
Okay. So as you make it into the fields, you eventually hear a whisper saying, "You probably should have waited for me on the other side. I might have been able to help you get across. But it is brave of you to come and try to help your friend."
Would he be? Which would be the most accessible way to get into the house?
Oh, I don't think he's. I think he's in the function hall. It's in the northeast. We'll have to sneak. Well, I don't know if I should be seen with you. I'm worried about even just now.
No, maybe just dawdle on the way back, and we'll kind of follow you to an extent. If you see any trouble, maybe just pretend to have to tie your shoe or something.
Well, I might be. I think I'll be okay in the fields because I can stay pretty low. But once we leave the fields, when we're closer to the houses, I might have to leave you. Look, I think he's most likely in the function hall, which is right on the other end of town. It's right in basically the northeastern part of the east side. So you'll have to get between the two houses, the bit of the Belmonts and the Schuberts. Or you could go up to the north and curve around, or that's probably your best bet. Either between and try to sneak between, or cut north and go around past the entrance to the old dwarven catacombs.
Is there much activity up that way?
Well, there is some guard housing over there. Guards that are somewhat more loyal to the four families, but they're still just town guards.
Or maybe it might be best to sneak. Do you think you'll be all right with that tweak?
What is that? Sorry?
Sneaking between the houses.
I could give it a try.
Make sure you guide yourself well.
Natural 20 with 22 for stealth. And I make my way across.
Oh, he's already started without us.
You don't even see me move.
Tweak, you just rolled a nat 20 on your stealth, so you're well hidden. But are you guys going north, or are you like around the loopway, or are you guys going east between the two houses?
I think we're going to go between the two houses because that kind of seemed less populated.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So yeah, it's night. You can see people milling about, but because it's dark, the stealth checks will sort of represent your ability to avoid the watchers, guards, patrol sort of thing. So I will get. What are the stealth checks for Thistle and Callum?
24.
I actually got a 20 then.
20?
Yeah.
You guys don't realize how lucky you were because I rolled real good on my perception check just then. Okay, so you've all rolled really good stealth checks versus my very good perception check, which means that you do manage to sneak through the low fields and make your way over to this rock between the two houses. You see a couple of guards. They're not, I say guards, they're just tough looking guys wearing leathers. They've got crossbows and you see a mace at their side. They don't look particularly well trained, but they do seem like they know how to hit hard and they vaguely know how to use the crossbow they've got.
I will say, my stealth defender rolled 10 on stealth.
Good to know. 10. So your totals were 22, 24, 20, and 10. So what's the average of that? 40, 66, 76 divided by 4. You guys made it by 1.
Wow.
So like at some point the steel defender like kicks a stone and makes a zzzz and just stops. The guy looks over. The steel defender is just like perfectly still and just somehow blending in with the scenery, so he just doesn't notice. He's looking for people, not whatever the steel defender is. So you guys make it all the way over to this large pillar that is floored all the way from the floor to the ceiling of this place. You notice that it's like obviously climbable. People like climb this thing. There's decorations on it. It's fairly decorative. There are a few of these pillars throughout the town, but this is the first one that you've sort of been particularly interested in. So you would essentially you've been told that you still got to go northeast to get to the function hall. You also why don't you give me perception checks to show me what else you see?
Probably not me then.
Probably not you.
I actually got a 20 there too.
And what did you get, Thistle? I mean, Tweak?
9.
Okay. Tweak, you're just sort of enamored by this rock pillar. It just seems interesting. Thistle, to the east, you can see what appears to be a passageway out. It's unguarded. And with your high perception, you can sort of just see in, and it looks like it might be blocked.
Okay.
You can see to the northeast the function hall for the families. It's a square building built into the side of the rock side. It's somewhat decorated. It has several entrances. It is guarded.
Okay.
You do notice that there are two people standing outside, and they look to be on alert. What would the three of you like to do?
Oh, I tell Callum and I tell Twig
You are a
speak
spider.
about what everything. I
You are-
can't.
You are a spider.
That's right. I'm still a spider.
Do you like gesture madly?
Yeah, I would be.
Then
Yeah.
no. Then I would say I can only do this once, and I'll cast speak with animals.
I can communicate with her a little bit if you're an insect.
She's a giant wolf spider, which is about the size of a dog, a large dog.
Still an insect.
Technically, no, an arachnid, but yeah. All right. I'll Tweak. Give me an insight check. And this will give me a performance check. This is before speak with animals occurs.
Oh God, me doing performance. That's funny. 16.
Okay, and Tweak, give me an insight check.
Just on the rules, speak with small beasts. So simple ideas are small or smaller beasts.
It's a medium. It's a medium beast. But I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to allow this insight check.
13.
13. Yeah, they're gesturing over there at where you're trying to go, and you notice the two guards. You can tell Callum.
So with the layout of the buildings, can't ask and tweak this if anything. Is there a way we can sneak around and dodge those guards?
It's pretty much a straight shot. You're about 100 feet away from the place. You can move to the wall and try to sneak along the wall, but at some point you're going to have to deal with these people. They are in front of the doors, in front of the 2 doors you can see.
So there's 2 guards up there. I mean, what's the plan here?
Well, do you want to go against the wall and then we'll see if there's another way in when we get closer?
Okay, I'll make my way up.
Okay, give me another round of stealth checks.
23.
23,
13.
13,
17.
17, and the steel defender.
8.
Would you believe it? You just made it again, this time by less than 1. Yes, but you make it to the east wall. Essentially, you're right near this blocked passageway. As you're moving towards it, you can see that, yes, it is a blocked passage leading east. The guards seem to be on alert of this building, but you are now on the eastern wall, and you can try to get inch closer. At some point, you're going to have to come up with a plan for these guards, though.
Perhaps we could distract them.
Or maybe we could just send Thistle scurrying past them or something.
Yes, I could make a minor illusion in the distance somewhere and maybe get them to investigate elsewhere.
Well, all of you are aware, due to the meetings and people you've talked to and your adventures here, that spiders are the enemies of these people.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it would potentially work. Like it would at least cause them to pause, I imagine.
How do you feel about being bait, Thistle?
I put up 4 fingers. Oh, sorry, 4 legs.
You don't want to?
2 legs for yes, 4 for no.
That was 3 for yes. This is why codes are bad.
Yeah, it's 3 for yes, 4 for no.
Well, we got to save Chuck somehow, so I think you're it.
I could cast maybe some sound behind the guards they could investigate.
Well, you cast maybe you do a scream or something, and Thistle be nearby it.
So you do know, yeah, you can send noises with minor illusion if you've got access to that.
I do. I will send a noise. It's just a noise, isn't it? It can't
So
be actually a voice.
It can be a noise or an image. It can't be both, and the image has to not be moving. So you do know.
Can I
So
actually
you
speak something, or does it have to be just a noise?
it's as a word could be a noise. It can't be a long sentence, but it could
Sure.
be like a word. Just to go over the layout one more time. So to the west, you've got the 2 houses on the ground level. You got this blocked passageway sort of southeast of where you are. To the northwest, if you were to go all around the edges, you do see a passageway leading north out.
Well, how about we keep squeezing past this house to get on the northern side? Tweet, you do a bit of a noise, like maybe a scream or something like that. Thistle, you're faster than them. You can just keep out of their range. Like, there's little chance they'll catch you.
3 legs.
And then we have to run freaking straight in when we can, Tweak. Or sneak in, rather.
All right, let's go.
Okay, I'm actually going to have you all roll initiative for this because there's a few things all happening at once. I think initiative will serve us. I might be wrong, but right now I think it's the right call.
Yeah, well, I assume it starts when Tweak does his thing, essentially.
Yeah, you guys at the moment have a surprise round, essentially.
17 for my initiative.
12 for me.
17 for my steel defender.
11 for me.
The steel defender just goes after you, always. Okay, excellent. Okay, so yeah, Tweak, you are up first. And what do you do? I'll say you can get within 40 feet of the building. If you want to get closer than that, I need another round of stealth check.
Well, the idea is to get close to the building and then divert the attention of the guards.
So if you want to get even closer than 40 feet, you will need to make a round of stealth. This would be before the combat, or before the initiative, I should say. It's probably not actually going to be a combat.
I feel like we do need to get closer than that. So they're like looking down there at this position. Is that right? They're guarding it.
They're not looking. So the building that is in the corner of the whole village, which is just like surrounded by rock because it's an underground dwarven ruin essentially that's been claimed by these people. The two people they're guarding, like there's two doors, one on the south, one on the west side of this building. The guards are outside of each, so to the point where they could sort of see each other most of the time, but not constantly. You're coming from the eastern wall, so you're moving up. They're not looking at the wall, they're looking out towards the town itself. So they're not necessarily looking at you or in your general direction, which is like, that's why it made sense to go over to the wall. But they are guarding the two doors in.
Okay, I might use my minor illusion away from the door and hopefully grab their attention by having a small voice of a girl scream out, "Help!"
Okay. Give
Then
me
in that direction, and then I'll make my way as it's screaming.
a deception check.
Natural 20.
Oh, good.
They both rolled under 10 for their insight checks. So you see them look at each other. They both take off at a run towards the noise, which I'm guessing is sort of off to the northwest a little bit.
Yes,
What do you do? So they both take off.
I'll make my way to the door as fast as possible.
You won't with this in this turn, you won't be able to make it all the way, but you'll be very close.
That's fine.
And I'm guessing the Steel Defender is with you.
Yes.
Okay. I will get. Oh no, you're running. So yeah, you're basically relying on them being distracted by this other thing now. Okay, cool. Callum, you're up next.
I'd just quickly turn to Thistle, say good luck. Remember, you can always change it to something smaller and run away. And then I just run after Twig.
You run after Tweak. Okay. Thistle, what would you like to do? So these two guards have run off to the west, a little bit northwest, and you guys are coming from the opposite direction.
Well, could I do a dash in the direction that Callum's going?
You could.
And yep, catch up to him. So
You're the distraction, I whisper back at you.
I'll make a web.
You can't.
Not with this
Oh,
fight.
that's right.
To be fair, you could go this direction and then take to the walls and scurry along the walls. And at a dash, you would be only a little bit behind the guards.
That sounds better. I'll do that.
Okay, so you're sort of sneaking up and then behind. I will make you do a stealth check.
Okay. 19.
Yep, the two guards rolled terribly. I rolled a 1 and a 4 on their perception checks, so they don't know about you. They don't know that you're there. They're not looking at the wall.
Okay, cool.
It is their turn, and they are going to, like, they're looking around, looking for things. I'm just going to roll another couple of checks. No, at the moment, they're too dumb to realize they're on guard duty. So, Tweak, you're up.
The girl's voice was really adorable.
It was just your voice, wasn't it, Twig?
It was. It's slightly higher pitch, if that's possible.
But it's your turn, Tweak. You're about 15 feet away from one of the doors.
I will make my way up to the door, and before I go in there, just have a good look around the room.
The doors are closed.
Is there a window or anything next to it?
No. It's sort of like a school hall. They don't traditionally have windows.
I will check. Is it? Oh, I should. I check for traps.
Sure, give me a perception or investigation. Either would work in this sense.
18 on investigation.
It does not appear to be trapped. Does appear to be locked.
That was my next thing. Yes, I suppose better be to be thorough. Okay, and my Steel Defender will get ready to give me advantage next turn on lockpick.
Sure, I can be there ready to hold for you.
Yeah.
Sure. Callum, what would you like to do?
There's not terribly too much I can do. The guards were about 60 feet away, 30 feet.
Yeah, they're probably about 70 feet away. Like they're over to the west, sort of looking around, looking for where the sound came from.
Okay, just for now, I'll just stealth, try and hide.
Yep. Give me a stealth check.
Of 15.
Cool. That takes us to Thistle. You're about 30 feet away from these guards. They're sort of looking around. You're on the wall to the northwest of them. What would you like to do? You do spy the cave leading to the north. An exit, north exit, is about 60 feet away along the wall from you.
Okay.
You could also climb. The ceiling is probably about 60 feet up as well.
Be completely honest, I think I'm going to try and go up a bit further to get a bit of a lay of the land. And I think I have a general idea where Tweak and Callum have gone.
Okay. Yeah, you know where they've gone. So you're not giving up your position yet. You're sort of preparing to be a backup distraction if these guards stop being distracted.
Kind of, yeah. So I'm going to go up and just keep an eye on them for a little bit longer. So I could stealth up so I don't make any noise.
Yeah, give me a stealth.
14.
Okay, and give me a perception because you're keeping an eye on these guards as well.
21.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, for the moment they don't seem to be alerted to your presence, but it is their turn, and I'm going to roll. So they still don't seem to see you. One of them almost looks in your direction, like seems to be getting better at looking around, but still can't see anything. They can't see you. The other one says, "Wait, no, Gregory's going to be so annoyed if we're not on guard. I'm going to go back. You look for that source of the noise. I'm going to keep you in eye shot." And you hear this Thistle.
Okay.
He starts going back towards the building.
Cool.
Tweak.
I will start to unlock.
Give me a sleight of hand with advantage because your still defender is helping.
18.
18. You get in.
I've got it open, Callum.
Let's go.
Quick, come, and I'll push the door slightly ajar and sort of keep my back to the wall as I come in.
Okay. Give me a high or lows. One, either Callum or Tweak.
Lows.
When you reel it, I rolled a 3.
That's pretty low.
As you enter the building, it is dark and there is no one in here. Oh, I wouldn't say it's not fully dark. It's dimly lit by some like light candles. Well, not candles. Like a low lantern, sort of up the top of this room. There'd be a couple actually. It's quite large. It's about, let's say, 100 feet wide by about 200 feet long, and you're at the southern. You came in the southern door, so you've got about 200 feet, and at the end of this, you wouldn't see it, but
I can see into darkness up to 60 feet.
actually, with the dim light, yeah, you can see a wall up in the south feet. Give me a perception check.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. And Callum, you can give me one too.
That's just for hearing.
Yeah. Still, give me one for hearing.
25.
25. Yeah, so Tweak, you see a door on the northern wall. And Callum, with that very good perception check, you hear muffled breathing coming from beyond, from the north. It's quite heavily muffled, but you can hear it.
I say to Callum, there's a door ahead.
Okay. As I go into the building, actually, first, what kind of lock was it? Was it just like a keyhole lock in the door?
Yeah, pretty standard keyhole lock.
Cool. Then I'll quietly close that door, just so it looks like no one's been through. And I say, look, I think Chuck's in that room, or down that way, kind of point in the direction of the breathing, and start going that way.
You start going that way. Cool. We're gonna jump back over to Thistle. What are you doing, Thistle? Yeah, you see one of the guards is still looking for the sound of this noise, and one of them is heading back to the hall.
Now that I have an idea of what's going on and everything, I think I might try and find my own way to find Callum and speak. Can I also, like, I know, I don't know if this sounds like a stupid idea, but does Chuck need to activate a spell or something for him and I to have that telepathic link?
He needs to be able to see you and within a certain range and use a bonus action or something like that.
That is correct.
Just double checking. I had an idea, but it won't work. So yeah, I'm gonna try and find Callum and Chuck now.
Okay, so you're going back towards the function hall?
Yeah, but I'd rather go at the height that I'm at rather than go the way that they went in.
Okay, you'll still need to give me a stealth check. If to avoid being seen.
20?
Okay. Okay, so it is the thug's turn. They're looking around. One of them seems to he's looking fairly thoroughly around, and he's not finding anything, and he's starting to seem frustrated. He's still like acting a little bit dumb. Like he's scratching his head, being like, what's going on? Like he hasn't the penny hasn't dropped yet that there's nothing here. He's just confused. Okay. But you can, I think with your movement, if you can make it back almost to the function hall, but you can't see a way in except for these two doors.
Okay.
You'd have to look around for something.
Is there like a window? Can I do a perception for any windows as to get into the hall?
Sure. Give me a
Cool.
check.
16?
You don't see any windows.
Okay. I think I'll just stay here for now and I'll make my big movement next time.
Okay. Tweak.
I will make my way up to the door at the back.
It's a fair way away. It's 200 feet away.
I'll make it in haste.
Yeah, this is it's like a really big school hall. Like just a big
I feel
rectangular
like
building.
I can quietly run over there. Or at least it won't be too loud.
Yeah. Are you trying to be quiet or are you just trying to get there fast?
This is sort of like running on a basketball field.
Pretty much. Except it's stone floor.
Yeah, well, I like to move over there with double action, I guess.
Okay, you do that. And I'm missing the Steel Defender's going with you.
Yes, keep it down, Giznat.
Callum, what are you doing? Are you just following?
Yeah, I suppose I would be, but I see he's kind of pulling way far ahead, so I'd probably be going like half pace, but trying to keep an ear out.
Okay, give me a perception check.
16.
Yeah, you don't know. You do hear Tweak and the Steel Defender more so making noise. But it's not. You don't hear anything else. You don't think you've been made. Okay, Thistle, you are outside, making your way to the function hall. From this angle, you're not quite there yet, and from this angle, you can't see any windows or any third access point.
Fair enough. Well, I guess I'll do a dash to get into the doors, if possible.
So one of the guards has made it back now.
Okay. What can I do to distract him?
Run into view and run. I mean, that's what your original job was.
Yeah.
You could also you haven't had a full look at this building. There might be another point of egress. You're not sure because your perception wasn't from on top of it. It was from like looking at it, and it's in the corner, so you didn't get all the angles.
All right. Well, I'll scuttle up further. And I'll see if I can find another way to get in.
Okay. Give me a stealth check.
Yep.
Or your movement will be heard by the guard.
15.
Okay, still rolling terrible on my perception checks. Well, the ones that matter for you guys anyway. You make it over to on top of the building,
Yep.
And you do notice, right? It's basically coming out of the rock wall. It's like a angled chimney that is probably going into this building, but you don't actually see it connecting with the building itself. But it's sort of like a square or circular bit of stone popping out of the rock, and it looks like it's a hole, and it looks like it might go into this building.
I have nothing to lose, so I'm going to go for it.
You won't be able to make it there this turn.
But I can start making my way there.
Because you're stealthed, you can't make it much further, no. But you can begin to start, if that makes sense.
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, we can probably start expediting things a little bit. I'm just going to check on these guards. At this point in time, no one really sees it. This probably hears it with a passive perception. You hear the other guard moving back towards the building. They're confused by what they heard, but you can't really see this because of where you're positioned. We can probably get out of initiative a little bit now, but we'll still just go in order. Tweak, what are you doing now? Just going all the way to the door, or?
Yeah, can I get to the door now, or?
Yes, you can get to the door.
Locked? Actually, is it trapped?
Give me a perception or investigation.
Last thing I need is an alarm to go off. Natural 1 plus 8 is 9.
Does not appear to be trapped. Yeah, that's basically you, Callum.
Isn't that can open up the door?
That can try to open up the door. It is locked. No. Callum, you're basically walking with him, maybe a little bit slower just to keep an ear out, but you can easily catch up to him. Is there anything you'd like to do as you're inside the building?
Probably, if anything, put an ear up to the door and listen to something.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Only 14.
Okay, yeah, you still hear this muffled breathing. You don't really hear anything else beyond that. Thistle. We can say that you make your way over to this hole, that's possibly a chimney. Is there anything specific you're doing as you go there?
Just scuttling along.
Okay, you scuttle along. The two thugs are back at their posts now, and one of them looks like he's trying to think of something, and he's confused, and he looks like he's about to go. Well, you can't see this. None of you can see this. I'm just rolling for this. Okay, Tweak. You have a locked door in front of you.
I will attempt to unlock it.
Give me a thieves' tools check.
That'll be 13.
13. Excellent. You hear a click, and it opens. These are not particularly good locks.
I'll creak the door open and have a look inside.
Yeah. Before we resolve that, Mimbo, we might skip over to you for a second. You have been locked up behind this chair, and you didn't really give them much information. You sort of tried to diplomatically negotiate. They haven't come back and talked to you since you sort of proposed
Did they stuff the rag back in my mouth?
No, your mouth, you are able to breathe emptily. You still got a hood over your head.
Okay.
Like a Hessian sack.
Sure.
And your hands are still tied to a chair, and your feet are also tied. You're bound.
Okay. But if I have my mouth, I can cast Misty Step.
You need to be able to see where you're going.
Do I?
Yes, Misty Step requires sight.
Fine.
But what else might you like to do? Give me a perception check, I suppose, as you're sitting there waiting.
Perception check. Okay. Ooh, 21.
21. A few things dawn on you as you're sort of keeping here. You know that you're not alone in this room. There is someone in here with you. You've heard voice. You've heard with a 21. You've heard the Steel Defender's footsteps coming from a direction, and with a 21, you also hear something walking on the roof of the building that you're in.
Okay.
So that's what you all know. Tweak. You open the door, and as you do take a peek in, you lock eyes with a very large man wearing studded leather armor, shield and spears on their back. They look at you and say, "Well, you shouldn't be here. I think I'm gonna have to deal with this, and I think I'm gonna have to deal with my damn brothers when I get a chance." And this will be initiative.
Is this the bathroom?
This will be initiative, unfortunately, for all of you. But we will cover that next episode, I think. And that will be this episode, I think. That's it for this episode of the High or Lows podcast. If you'd like to get in touch, you can find us on Twitter at High or Lows with underscores between the words, or you can find me at Feepster.
Thanks for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed listening, please leave us a 5-star rating and review, which is one of the best ways you can support us. You can also join the discussion on our Reddit and Facebook pages, or even our Discord server, and maybe play some games with us. Links can be found in the description below. Special thanks to Sirenscape for the background audio and Alex McPherson for providing the opening theme. I hope you can all join us next time as we continue on our adventure.